Howdy, 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 my name is Anashi Sasuke, and welcome back to SCP Sidestep. So, there's going to be two readings, and then the, as of now, last main SP Confinement video. Because, for one, I think I got lazy at actually trying to find more SCP videos to react to, since I'm splitting the two things together. But also, there's just a couple of other SCP things that wouldn't fit this format that I do want to take a look at. So, for now, let's start with this. This is a Dr. Wondertainment tale. Miss Air. Felicia had always hated the snow. It was cold, it was wet, and she was one of the few kids who were actually upset when school was cancelled. On top of all that, it rendered her already shoddy vehicle completely useless, so instead of driving down to her job interview, she had to walk. At least it wasn't that far. The employer, for whatever reason, had elected to hold it in the local diner. It seemed somewhat odd to her, but at only 16 she considered it possible she just didn't know any better. In fact, that was not the only thing that struck her as odd. She couldn't remember applying to a toy company. Her parents had both shrugged it off, saying one of them might have done it at some point. Even discarding that loose end, what would a toy company want with a 16-year-old girl with no work experience? But they had called her specifically, and a job was a job. Money was money. She rounded the corner, still trudging through snow that went past her ankles. From there she could see the diner, a small beacon of warmth and color in the freezing whiteness. With something akin to a dash that she made her way inside, basking in the warmth as she shut the glass door. A pair of men, one probably in his 20s and the other likely in his 70s, waved at her in unison from the spot in the corner of the diner. The younger had his brown hair spiked and wore a three-piece suit with a black and red tie, the jacket unbuttoned to reveal a pinkish collared shirt. The older gentleman wore a suit that held just a hint of purple and a hat that looked like it belonged in a black and white photo. "Felicia, so nice to finally meet you," the older one said. They only shook once, and then he gestured to the seat across from him and his companion. "Please sit, we have much to discuss." She unzipped and shrugged off her coat, setting it beside her when she sat. She made sure to sit straight and maintain eye contact when they spoke. "I'm Dr. Wondertainment," the gentleman said, "and this is Mr. Forgetful," which is SB-909. They were in character, she supposed. They were a toy company, after all. It made enough sense that the employees would try to have some fun with their jobs, but was the CEO of the company really conducting her interview? "And who is she?" Mr. Forgetful asked. Felicia had to show respect to how good he was pretending to be completely clueless, or forgetful, rather. "This is Felicia." Mr. Forgetful withdrew a pen and pad from his pockets. "Can I write that down?" "Not yet." He smiled at Felicia. "I have some questions for you before we really get into the thick of things." "Alright, like what?" Dr. Wondertainment pulled up a briefcase from under the table. He popped it open and then rested both hands on the table, interlocking his fingers. The sleeves of his suit drew back far enough for Felicia to see a pair of scars wrapping all the way around his wrists. "Simple legal things. Background check, what have you." He nodded to his cohort and extracted one of the papers from the briefcase. "Go ahead and write down her answers. Where were you born?" "Portland, Maine," Mr. Forgetful scribbled down her answer. "You are the daughter of whom?" "Michael and Anita Huertes," more scribbles. "And your full name?" "Felicia Abigail Huertes." "Where did you go to school?" "Elementary, middle, high school, even preschool." The name is crossed out, answered, Forgetful scribbled, and Wondertainment questioned, and she answered, and Forgetful scribbled. The process went on and on, the three of them tucked away in the corner of the diner. Far from prying eyes and listening ears, she gradually revealed the entirety of her being. The interview didn't stop when the waitress took their orders, and it continued as they ate. Almost an hour had passed before the old man nodded, apparently content. She looked to the pile of notes that Mr. Forgetful had been writing and cocked her head to get a look. Names, places, events, none of it looked even a little familiar. Why had he been writing all that? Why was she even here? Oh, writing down her entire identity. Mr. Forgetful wrote her identity and now it's gone. "Now, one last question and I think that will be it," Dr. Wondertainment said. He smiled and his eyes shone like distant stars. She felt herself becoming lost in them, the sheer vastness of their presence. The wonder of a million lights cascaded from a single point of boundless energy deep within the old man, which spread out and touched the souls of thousands. And she felt it too. She always had simply been distracted. Space seemed to shatter around him as he chuckled with the endless roar of a billion stars within an infinite cosmos. He cleared his throat and asked, "Who are you?" Her mind was empty. She tried to remember, which is quite difficult to do when one has nothing to remember. Her fingers drummed a beat on the magenta but used to be dull green table. She squeezed her eyes shut in thought and put her hands at her side, her right hand colliding with something furry. She looked down at the corgi that was occupying the space where Felicia doesn't exist anymore. Coat used to be, looking up at her expectantly. Who am I, Jeremy? Jeremy barked back because dogs can't talk. Isabel's a pretty name, let's go with that. And another, why are there two? Jeremy barked. Oh hey Jeremy, didn't see you over there. I do kinda like Helga. A third, just roll with it. Jeremy barked. Are you sure my name is Anastasia? I kinda like Parvati myself. The fifth, I think. That's not how names work. It is now! A fourth corgi sprang from under the table, barking excitedly. I don't know where you learned Spanish, Jeremy, but you're right. Why choose? Isabel, Helga, Anastasia, Parvati, Wondertainment. The fifth looked to herself, and grinned a big, wonderful grin. The world was better for it. The older Wondertainment gave her a small smile in return before coughing into a handkerchief. When he pulled the cloth away, rust clung to the handkerchief. Mr. Forgetful almost jumped out of his seat, but the doctor just patted the collectible's shoulder. I'm getting old, Isabel, he explained. She could see it in his eyes, like a disease of the soul eating away at the wonder light within him. I suppose you could say I used to work a dangerous job, a shift at the factory, and it's taking its toll, in more ways than one. I bet I could help, she offered. I could cure you by becoming a doctor. Isabel will go on to become a doctor, as doctors can be inherited with enough imagination. The doctor's eyes sparked. No, I think it's time to pass the torch. Put the companies in the hand of someone pure. I'm not sure what you mean, Doc. Perhaps best that way. Ignorance is bliss, as they say. She drew her lower lip to one side. If you say so. And I do. He took more papers from the briefcase. This has been a long time coming. I spent a lot of time and effort to speed along your growth. And when we get home, we'll speed it along even more. Isabel could see designs and notes for a series of collectibles, a group of people. Most of the documents contained the phrase Little Miss Error Project. Notes detailing about removing the need to eat, making someone never age, how to make someone impossible to locate. Oh hey, it's me! Oh hey, it's me! Mr. Forgetful grabbed at one of the papers. Looking good! What's all this for, Doctor? I want to write down everything these documents say, every last word, and then burn them in your notes. Then give me this piece of paper. Mr. Forgetful looked at between his creator and the papers, the scrap of paper clutched in his hand. But then you'd forget too. Dr. Wondertainment smiled. That's the idea. Wouldn't want to hinder progress once I'm senile, eh? If you're sure. And Dr. Wondertainment was, and so Mr. Forgetful did. The young man transcribed the entirety of the briefcase contents. Previous identities, methods of conversion, types of transference, theories and ideas and concepts, and mad scribbles made in the middle of the night by a god desperately fighting a losing battle. All recorded onto a scrap of paper and wiped from the minds of everyone but Wondertainment's greatest scribe. The waitress came and went again, not noticing what had always been that way. When Isabel finished her fourth plate of chocolate pancakes, Mr. Forgetful set down his pen. Okay, Doctor, I finished. Do I go ahead and burn it now? The old man raised his eyebrows. Did I tell you to burn it? Yes. Laughter emanated from somewhere within the space-time Wondertainment occupied. Well, then I suppose you should burn it. Mr. Forgetful withdrew a lighter from his pocket. The doctor had given it to him the day they met and told him it was very important. And so Mr. Forgetful gathered his notes, piled the documents, and shoved them into the briefcase. He flicked the lighter on and lit it all ablaze, then shut the briefcase. So why did you burn all that? It's a secret. What? Come on, tell me. I'm really good at keeping secrets. That is one time Jeremy accidentally broke Jeremy's favorite chew toy, and I knew but never told anybody. I'm not allowed to tell anyone, the notes say so. Well, okay, I guess. Isabel drank from her glass of milk. What's that? Dr. Wondertainment told me to give this to him. He held out the scrap of paper. I think it's important. The old man took the paper and examined it for a moment. When Isabel tried snatching it from him, he passed it over. They were instructions to drop Mr. Forgetful off at one of the Foundation sites. The director had probably ordered him like he had all the other little misters. Isabel slammed the paper down on the table. Man, that guy is a great customer! Isn't he? He'll be Mr. Collector in no time. Dr. Wondertainment watched the table wobble through different forms and colors from the impact of Isabel smacking it. You're going to be great, Isabel. The best of us yet, I think. A cartoonishly large blush covered her face, turning her ears pink. Aw, come on, you're just saying that. No, I mean it. Now, come on. It seems we have a little mister to deliver. Where was there a number 5? Like, there's number 6. Isabel came on to be a doctor. There was not a footnote number 5, but it says, the doctor knew the factory had changed him, put a filter on him, choking him, tainting him. You could see it in some of the toys. Now they were within the company and he could do nothing about it. But Isabel... Okay, so that would mean that this story that I read before, a shift at the factory... So Anthony was Anthony the one who was the Dr. Wondertainment the whole time? Let's see. Something broke the science. Simple, tinny voice. Do not intimidate the working man. So yeah, since it says Dr. Wondertainment Factory Tale, I guess that was Dr. Wondertainment. Huh. This one is called Reverse Engineering. I don't know what this one's about. But, Professor Duncan Gills checked his watch. 45 minutes. That's how long it had taken him to change the face of robotics, the Foundation, and maybe even the world. He gazed down at his creation, the result of so much soldering, grim grubbiness, machinated cogs, and even a little bit of luck. It was a short brass automaton with light bulb eyes and a smile that could light up an entire Christmas tree. Reverse engineering 2 skips into one glorious unit. They'd fund his research now. Mr. Brass, or what used to be him, was laying peacefully below, covered in beautiful grooves and gears and all sorts of fanciful mechanical claptraps. This was his coup de grace, his finest hour. With this, the clockwork virus no longer had to be feared. Far from it! It would become the source of new Foundation drones who would march out of his laboratory and across the Earth until the entire world was in their loving grip. Breathlessly, he leaned down to his new creation. Brass, can you hear me? Are you there? Please say something! He was answered with an iron grip on his throat and a mechanical, monotonous voice booming in both his eardrums like the little drummer boy had a twin. Destroy all humans. Oh, balls. Dr. Gears looked up as the clanking sound that had just been outside his office relocated itself to within. Greetings, Dr. Gills. I trust your costume is a result of the research going well? There was no response, only the low hum of an internal twisting network of cogs. Is that a costume? The 2 robots looked at each other, then back to Gears. Negative. I see. As they reached for his face, Gears had one last fleeting thought. It was a silly one, from a man not usually prone to flights of fancy. I suppose I really will be a cog now. The situation quickly spread beyond the confines of the site. Dr. Gills, instead of pacifying the clockwork virus, had instead mutated to a more terrible and virulent form. Now all would become Mr. Brass, marching step with their confederates. Step by step, they trode over the Foundation's most secure facility, bringing down every anomaly they came across. 682 became a set of 3 nervous, brass-bellowing bots with the twist of a valve and the cooperation of the accredited collective. The senior staff tried their best to stop it, but it was all for naught. Bright fell when his chimpanzee body was unable to outrun their metallic grasp. His cold, monkey fingers went from being wrapped around a shiny metal throat to being wrapped in glimmering bronze. Clef was taken when he realized that not even a pact with himself would be enough. When they came from man, he was fascinated and wanted to study them. They might have accepted his offer too if he hadn't mentioned the debolting procedure. Finally, one after another, the staff fell where they lay, until one of the survivors stepped forward. A man who would be the champion to all. Dr. Kondraki and his Butterfly army. He threw his might against them, breathlessly offering his butterflies to swing through their ranks, bringing illusory powers in their wake. Alas, it was for naught. Their cold, unfeeling robo-eyes did not fall prey to the magic eye of folly of man, and they took him like all the rest. All seemed lost. In one lone room, away from the frenzy, researcher Zin picked up one of the injured butterflies. Carefully cradling its wings, she whispered to it, "No, you don't deserve this fate." Her next destination was man's lab, and with destiny. The Union of Brass was preparing for an invasion of the world, if the Foundation could not stop them with its greatest champions, who really stood a chance at all. That was when they heard it. A fluttering, soft at first but growing in power until soon, every one of their little eardrums was thumping in time. They burst on the scene like the Revenge of the Sith, ravaging through first the front ranks and descending on the else. Butterflies with razor edges, ripping through the brass like it was tissue paper with brittle bones disease. As the men trapped in coffins of brass were liberated, they cheered! Soon every man was free, and only the original infected remained. As it was cut to ribbons, they heard one last cry from its destructor. Reverse engineer that, bitches! Well then. So it looks like that was a broken god-based tale and Dr. Kondraki related? Okay then. And that brings us to the Confinement, the Infinite IKEA, part 1 of 2. As far as I know, part 2 doesn't exist yet. Oh, let me, Sorry for the wait. I made the mistake of trying to do a 20-minute episode all at once, which caused a lot of issues on top of boring personal life complications. Episodes will no longer be that needlessly long. So I split this episode into 2 parts to make things simpler for me. Part 2 has had a lot of work done already, but I will be releasing a special 2-minute video of the origin of Connor's abilities before Part 2 is complete. Ooh, we'll have to see if that exists yet. Were those nooses? I've never been to an IKEA before, but I've heard weird stories about them. I wonder which SCP this is. Self-serve furniture.
Day 72. Another sleepless night fades in this static purgatory, haunted by the presence of a faceless, bloodthirsty army.
Ooh.
Rations are dwindling. Meanwhile, the unrelenting barbarian tribes from the checkout regions are showing no signs of surrender. I feel crushingly smaller each day looking into the ceaseless horizon of cubicles, mourning for the souls lost in this endless hellscape.
How is Connor supposed to help with this?
My mind is at ease, however, for I have proven myself invaluable to my tribe. I will fight for the ones I love. For her. Because I know that is what makes me a hero. But above all else, I am burdened with the knowledge that there is nothing in this world more dangerous and destructive than the monsters in this endless Swedish nightmare.
Okay, so he just woke up in the endless IKEA.
Oof. That's a splinter.
What the heck?
The store is now closed. Please exit the building.
What the heck? Woo!
He's alive! Quick, get the man something to drink!
Is he from the outside?
I hope he's okay.
Broken boy, what do they call you?
This question should be really easy.
Might have something to do with that awful spike in your noggin.
Are you guys, like, road warriors? Can you tell me what's going on? I can't remember anything that's happened, and I'm kind of pissed off that I remember Mad Max more than my own...
What are you doing? We're supposed to be looking for vending machines, not more mouths to feed. We're hunter-gatherers.
What's the point of hunting if we can't even fight off the bigger tribes? If we patch this guy up, maybe he'll help us out.
The point is, we can't keep getting distracted every time we see another lost schmuck trapped in the aisles.
It's better distraction than your stupid journal.
Hey, documenting is crucial. It's how we remember society. Have you already forgotten what convicts look like? Because this guy hasn't even ditched his prison garbs.
Oh, come on.
Like we're all saints in the land beyond the parking lot.
Remember what the elders said. Second hand, second chance.
Is that a joke?
You are starting to sound like the greedy tribes from the self-serve area.
Whoa, mate! You still with us? We've got to get them out of here.
I'll grab his legs.
The heck?
Ah! Where am I? Are we in a womb?
Away in a womb. You absolute basket case. I'm afraid you're still on the infinite IKEA, son.
What's an infinite IKEA?
What's in IKEA? It's a magic place, IKEA is. A benevolent realm of lamps and leather. A wondrous dimension of decor and deck chairs, as far as your wallet can take you, with cushions so soft, it's like drowning in the tits of an angel.
Wow.
But this one's quite shit. Something's off about this one.
Do all IKEAs have those faceless people?
I can't tell you, but as I always say, never trust a man without facial features. My name's Elder Freestanding Bathroom Cabinet, by the way, head of this tribe. And if you'd like to stay here, I'm gonna need you to protect your fellow survivor. You think you can handle that?
Sure, yeah.
Are you sure?
Yes!
That was easy. I hereby induct you into the Canopy tribe. Your clan name is Thorn, on account of that shard of wood stuck in your head. Talk to you later. Supper's in an hour.
I can only assume they sent him in here and then he got killed and then didn't die all the way?
Thorn, huh? Not bad. At least it's not stethoscope.
Ew. Can't imagine having it.
That's my name.
Oh.
But please call me Steth.
Were you found with a stethoscope stuck in your head?
No, I'm just the closest thing to a doctor in this tribe.
So, like a dentist, a nurse?
Livestock vet.
Right. Well, thanks for dealing with my head splinter.
No problem. I'm happy to check up on your wood anytime.
Hey, he's awake.
Sorry to hear about your memory loss.
I'll forget about it.
You cheeky fucker. We haven't been formally introduced. I'm Tallboy. This is Hutch.
Good morning.
This is Hope.
How do you do?
And over there is Ottoman, Davenport, Allen Keys.
Can you quiet down? I'm trying to scribe over here.
And that's Stanley. Don't mind him, he's a bit of a twat.
I don't even know why he's called Stanley.
Stanley isn't really a furniture name anyway. On a high pedestal, however.
Is that joke a chair? Because you've been sitting on that one.
He seems like he wants to be bad with power. Peeps and milk sold separate.
Fellow Ikeans, I am proud to announce that I have found some Lego.
That's what I'm talking about.
I'm not sure how it got in here. Also, I am proud to draw unneeded attention to the latest addition of our tribe, Thorn, the Impaled.
Legend!
Amisa.
IKEA.
If IKEAs have food and it's an infinite IKEA,
So,
why are they
Paul,
struggling
you must
to
be a
survive?
pretty rowdy fella to survive getting stabbed in the head, right?
Don't
I
skim
guess
past
so.
this milk.
I've still got no feeling in my left nut.
This is gonna sound forward, but can we spar?
But you're so big.
I'll go easy on you.
Good. It's my first time.
Oh my god. Is this episode just gonna have
Trying to disarm me!
a bunch of dick jokes because he's called the Impaled?
You were thinking too long. Teamwork!
Oh my god, this is
Owie.
Owie.
You've only prolonged this inevitable pillow fight. Retreat! That's right, we landed on some pillows. That's our thing.
You've done saved me life, Thorn.
Did I do that?
How did he do it? That's crazy.
And this is like ignoring the fact that there's a gash in his throat.
Day 73. Another sleepless night lurks over this hostile territory, anguished by the presence of a new face. Rations are dwindling. Meanwhile, the power-mad nobody from the land beyond the parking lot is showing no signs of surrender. I feel crushingly small each day looking into the ocean of praise he receives from these victims. I mourn for these lost souls in this endless hellscape. My mind is in darkness, for I have proven myself invaluable to my tribe. Yet no matter how many times I fight for the ones I love, they can't see that I am the hero. This cannot be my burden. This damn fucking shit motherfucker fucking monster.
He doesn't seem to be doing anything.
I was nobody in the land beyond the parking lot. Just please, let me have this.
The Infinite IKEA still has a parking lot? And... oh, it's over.
Why did we develop a material so secret we keep it under lock and key? That's why.
Right, part 2. Is that video around? Oh, it's SCP-3008. No wonder I've never heard of it. Let's see if we can find that 2-minute video explaining the powers, if it exists yet. Let's see, update, music video, special, and this. So, I guess not? Well, that being said, if anybody wants to pitch me some more ideas for things to do in SCP Sidestep, other than reading stuff, like more videos to react to, put me some links in the comments if you want. I'd appreciate it. Just give me something to look for that you want to see me react to, other than me just, like, hunting down things and not having a whole lot to work with. I just really wanted to see the Confinement video, and also read some more of the weird things that happen with Dr. Wondertainment. So, this has been Anashi Sasuke. If you liked it, a like and subscribe would be groovy. If you didn't, you don't need to do either one of those things. And hey, even if you don't want to subscribe to me, at least subscribe to Lord Bung, because his videos are great and they probably take a lot of time and effort to do. So, thanks again, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Later.